Hello, welcome back. My name is Jonas, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to improve your workflow and productivity while working in Figma. So let's go. Just a quick disclaimer here before we begin. So I mainly use Figma in the browser, so all these tips might not work for you if you're using the desktop version. So if this is the case, well, maybe try switching to using Figma in the browser. Maybe. Anyway, let's move on. Alright, so let's first start with the things that you can do inside Figma to boost your workflow. If you are not yet using Pages, you should start using Pages. Pages are super useful. Let me show you. Alright, here in Figma. So if you're not using Pages to your advantage yet, you should. And let me show you how. So Pages are located here in the left side panel, and you can create them from here. And why split your designs into Pages? Well, you will be more organized if you split everything into Pages. So for example, here this is just an old sample project. So I have named this as tutorial, but this would be like the design page, and then you would have the components on an own page, and then also your icons on their own page. And then whatever components you create in these pages will then appear here in the assets panel under that page. So it's super convenient then to just go to assets and drag stuff from here to the design page. And also each page will get its own like prototype link when you click a prototype from here. So this means that if you need to create like a separate prototypes for a mobile view and for a desktop view, you can do that if you split those into different pages, and then you can just send links to the mobile prototype and to the desktop prototype separately, if that's something you need to do. So take advantage of that. While I was making this video, Figma came out with the feature that allows you to make or create multiple flows within a single page. So now when you create a prototype flow like this, it creates the flow 1. And then when you connect another prototype that is not connected to the other one, then it automatically creates the second flow. And then once we have all of these connected like this, then we can open the prototype and just give it a sec to load. And then here we have the flow 1. And then from the left hand side panel, you can switch between the flows like this. And then of course you can rename these flows here just like this. You should always aim to name your layers as well as possible. I know it might sound like it's a drag while you just want to create something. I don't have time to name these layers, but trust me, later on you will thank yourself that you named your layers, because it's way nicer to then come back to some component or element on the design and see how it's built. For example, here you can easily see, okay, it's a content container, cool, and then here it's a playlist you follow section, okay, it's a section, and then you have another container and a label here, and it's so much easier to navigate your whole design or the project. And there's also another benefit to doing this, and that's when you do a developer handoff, and developers need to inspect your designs and see how to build the actual product then, or the design then into code. So it's way easier for them to just look at the layer names and see, okay, this is a label, this is an icon, this is a container. Okay, I know how to build this now. And they will thank you for naming stuff clearly. Always create components early. And what do I mean by this? Well, as soon as you notice that you have an element that you need to copy or duplicate, that's the moment when you should turn it into a component. Because trust me, your future self will thank you when it's already a component, when you have like 50 instances across the design of that element, and now it's a component, so you can just bloop, update the master component and all the instances will update, rather than, oh, it wasn't a component and now you have to go through all of those one by one by hand. And that's not fun. I've been there, and it's super easy to prevent that, so create components early. Learning the Figma shortcuts is probably one of the single most effective ways to boost your productivity while working in Figma. And thankfully, you can learn all of those straight in the editor. So here, when you have the editor open, you can just go to the resources menu here on the question mark, and from here click the keyboard shortcuts, and then Figma will give you this nice list that shows you all the shortcuts, and it will also show you which of them you have already tried out, so you can just click through this straight in the editor. And this is a really nice way to learn them. So learn all of these and be an absolute Figma hero. You should really use the Figma Mirror app on your phone to test your prototypes. So once you have it open, you go to your project and click on the frame that you want to show up on the app, and there you go. Now that prototype is running on your real device and everything works as expected. And yeah. And you can also use this as a live preview of the prototype on your real device, as you can see here. If you have more than one monitor at your disposal, you should really use it to your advantage. So you could, for example, have your components or icons here and edit them here, and the changes will immediately be reflected on the main page or the design page here. But don't worry if you don't have another screen. You can utilize your operating system's ability to create multiple desktops. For example, on Mac, you can do it like this. So let's first duplicate this Figma project tab in the browser, and then let's drag this out to be its own window, like so. And then all we need to do is just enter the full screen mode, like so. And let's bring the browser UI back for a sec, and then do the same for the other window. And for clarity, you should probably already enter like the components or icons or whatever the other page you want it to be is. And then just go to full screen mode, like so. And now you can swipe between the different pages, super easy. And then you can also hide the browser UI on Mac. It happens by pressing Shift Command F, and if you're on Windows, I believe it's F11. And then you have this like desktop experience, even though you are using a browser with Figma. And another cool thing you can do with the Windows is with the prototype. So if you have the prototype open on another tab like this, then just again bring it as its own window like this, and then go back to the main design tab. And then when you hover, and again this is only for Mac, on Windows it's different. So when you hover this full screen button, then it will open this menu, and you can choose to tile this on the right or on the left, and we will tile it on the left. And then you can choose to tile another window next to it. And here, since we took out the prototype tab as its own window, we can then click here, and then it will show up here in this tile view. And then we can drag this on the side, and then again we have a live preview of the changes here nicely. I have one more browser thing that is super useful when using Figma, and that is bookmark folders. So here I have another Figma project and the project's bookmarks, which point to the design page, the components page, and to the prototype page. And this is a fast way to get directly back into the project that you have created the bookmarks for. But also, at least Chrome has this feature that you can open all the tabs in the folder, so then you have a super quick access to all the critical pages that you need to be opened immediately, along with the prototype. And then now when you combine this with the stuff with the window docking or split view that we just did a second ago, you can do this. So let's quickly tile this on the right and open this here. And now you have the prototype on the right, super fast, and then the design here, and then your components here, or whatever you decide to link to the bookmarks. And then also it is super handy to use the browser shortcut to switch between the tabs. So here on Mac you can use Command and number keys to switch between the tabs on opened tabs. So then when you hide the browser view, you can have like a really immersive experience working on Figma, like yeah, everything is cool, and then I need to update the component here. Do your updates, go back to your design and see the prototype here at all times. Cool, right? Alright, that's all I have for you in this video. I hope you really enjoyed this, and if you did, please leave a like down below and also consider subscribing. And if you have any of your own tips that you use to increase your productivity, please leave them in the comment section down below. But now it's time for me to say goodbye and see you next time.